My name is Hai, and my student ID is 2237 43226. And today I will be talking about the distinction task of SIT112. So we were tasked with analyzing YouTube videos data from four news publishers of our choice, and decided to stick with the default. And for this task is more challenging than the previous one because we need to retrieve the data ourselves rather than previously in the other task. It's already in a CSV that the distribution code already given us. So firstly, I need a YouTube API in order to retrieve the videos of my choice, which is the code within this this file, which is already written for me. um and Okay, then I need to clean the data a bit, but depend on the task, we were required to clean it a bit differently. So these are the libraries that I use, and these are the the CSV that is prompted. And these are the four news channels with the channel ID. The libraries again, yeah. And these is the the code that prepares and clean the data for me, that it was previously written, so I wouldn't be going over to those. So I was tasked with choosing an E1 task, two E1 tasks and one E2 task. So for the E1, I chose first is the E1.5. So for every single one of them, I need to re-implement the code of reading the CSV because I have nowhere else to put it, so which is a bit repetitive, but it's quite basic. I'm just gonna read the CSV into my variables here. So with them read and into my variables, so I want to access the date, publish at, and then I use another code to datetime with it's with the column that I want to change it to datetime with the format of year, this and this and this. Yep. And then I need to convert the column date to datetime, which I use the exact same one from but it's from the comment data frame. And then I need to filter the data frame by eliminating all that is null. So I just do this within this data frame. I want this one to be all of them that is not null. Null means that it's empty, right? And then I merge the reply so that I can have one big table instead of two separated table on video ID. Yep. And the how on the left means that everything on the left is not null, and then data's on the right is acceptable to be not available. And then I need to map the channel, which is I'm just implementing the channel data that I previously implemented into my data. And then I need to extract the year and the month from the comment date from the analysis. So I access the column that I want, and then I put them in. That's quite simple. Filter by the specific date range. Now I have the start date is this, end date is this, which is actually already up above, but I'm just gonna I needed to do it again in order for it to work. And then replies videos data frames, which is a new variable that I just created above this one, the one that has the extracted year and month. And then it's gonna have to be that it has to be larger than or equal to the start date and within the end date. And then I display them. This is not really necessary, but I'm just putting them so that I can have a way of checking for sure that it is working. And then for this one I chose these For this one, I wanted to use a line chart because it's a distribution over time. So I think the best way to do it would be with a line chart. And all of these show that there's a fluctuations for the distribution of comments replies over time. And I need to use a for loop so that for each line, that there would be for each channels there'll be one line. So that's why I need the for loop here. So that's the first task. Up to the second task, which I think is a bit more simple. So just repetitively implementing these, and then converting them into datetimes, and then exclude the video with no comments. So on this one, it's pretty much the same. I merged two tables into one, but here I use the parameter of inner. It means that everything that, if there's a columns that videos data frames have, but comments data frame does not, then I would delete them. So it would have less variable, and actually less columns and less variables at the same time. And then I'm gonna handle the missing values using this one on the comment text, because that's where there's gonna be missing values. And then I'm gonna calculate the average comment length of each videos, which is quite simple. This is the variables that I created of the merge table. This has the data of both data frame, and then I want to go into comment length and then apply length to see how long it is, and then I group them by videos ID, and then I want to calculate the average, and then I name the columns, and then I display them with a scatter plot, which is quite obvious, and this is the output. And lastly, for the E2 one, I chose E2.2.2. Again, I need to implement these again, and then ensure that there's no missing values, and then I want to calculate the length of each comment, which is this line right here. Okay, and then I calculate the average comment length for each videos. This is the length of each comment, and this is the length. So for each video is a bit more tricky because I need to group them by videos ID, and then access the comment length so that I can have the videos ID alongside with the comment length, and then I name the columns, and then I merge them into one big table, just like earlier, and then I get the channels data so that I can have separated channels, and then I define a function which does the following. It converts duration to seconds because I want it of seconds. It converts the entire duration of the videos into seconds. For say it's 5 minutes, it's gonna be 300 seconds. So minutes gonna be final, that it's in minutes. Seconds gonna be final, that is in seconds, and then I'm gonna return the values of minutes times 60 and then plus seconds. Yeah, there's two lines. It helps me to make sure that if minutes is 0, then it's gonna ignore minutes. Yeah, and then apply the function. So video duration and duration, then apply the function right here. So now my duration is converted into minutes. This is really not necessary. It's just a way for me to know that my data is ready to be plotted. And then these is just plotting it. It's just setting the axis, y axis, and then how I want to color code them, and then the palette, and then yeah, and then here is the final result. And for this task, I feel like the most difficult part of the distinction task is actually not within the task itself. Is actually within the setup, because it's quite challenging for me. I don't know, because there's a lot to go through, and then there's like just look at the instruction itself. It's quite confusing and all, and then there's the errors, and then I didn't even know that you have to wait for the CSV to pop up. It has to take times, and that is actually it. Thank you for